Hello everyone, welcome back to ASR, African Stories Realized. This is our weekly review of Youngins Season 1. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Episode 43 picks up at Kaya's home, where him and his father seem to be getting along as he continues to work at the garage. While Kaya was at work, Principal Mthembu paid him a visit, claiming the student that Kaya saw him with last week was 18. He attempted to bribe Kaya with promises of scouts, but he resisted, telling his former principal how disappointed he was and desperately trying to reach the rest of the Big Five. Butle and her parents continued to go back and forth about her next school, as it increasingly looked like they want her as far from them as possible. Meanwhile, Amo asked to go see her father and initially turned back. However, her aunt did her best to convince Amo to go back and try forgive him. Tumelo then confronted his father for not taking his coming out to them seriously, but Tumelo's father denied having anything against Tumelo's sexuality, calling his son out for being dramatic before ordering him to carry out his chores. Mahlatsa was in a bad mood after losing his scholarship. His mother encouraged him not to lose hope and gave him the little she had so he could go and search for other opportunities online. Eventually, Kaya was able to get hold of the Big Five on a group call and revealed what he had discovered about Mr. Mthembu. The episode ends with the Big Five reigniting their desire to bring down their former principal. However, Amo did not seem as enthusiastic. Episode 44 picks up with Kaya pulling up to Butle's place in his father Freddy's car. The couple went on to pick up Mahlatsa as the Big Five reunion drew closer. The three met up with Tumelo, who arrived by taxi, but Amo could not make it. She returned to the prison where her father was held and finally confronted him for taking her mother away. Her father was not remorseful and instead victimized himself, blaming Amo's mother for his actions. A disgusted Amo told him how he reminded her of Principal Mthembu before disowning her own father and declaring that she would never forgive him. Amo went on to pack her things as she set out to join the Big Five. She parted with her aunt on bad terms as she left her home for what seemed like the final time. Meanwhile, the rest of the group managed to track down the girl who Kaya saw the principal with. However, they were not able to convince her to help them expose Mr. Mthembu. The episode ends with the girl kicking Kaya and Butle out of her home as the Big Five run out of options. Episode 45, the finale, picks up with the confirmation that Kaya indeed stole his father Freddy's car. However, there was no turning back for the group as they reunited with Amo. Amo wasted no time going straight to work. The group returned to Lisa's place where Amo convinced her that Mr. Mthembu was using her. Meanwhile, Pearl's investigation was also underway as she gained access to Mr. Mthembu's iPad. The Big Five and Lisa returned to Olifantsfontein where they made a grand entrance, interrupting assembly and confronting the principal in front of everyone. Despite Mr. Mthembu denying the allegations, Amo spoke well and was supported by Lisa's testimony and Pearl, who arrived with evidence on Mr. Mthembu's iPad. The students collectively ushered Mr. Mthembu out of the school where the authorities had arrived to take him to jail. Celebrations broke out as Pearl apologized to the Big Five and notified them that they're free to return to school. Kaya's father even joined in, telling his son how proud he was instead of scolding him for stealing his car. The show came full circle with the Big Five once again going clubbing. The finale ends with Kaya and Amo sharing a kiss under the moonlight after he professed his love to her. What a satisfying finale. Like we predicted, Pearl was the key, and she really had her moment in that final confrontation with Principal Mthembu. Mr. Mthembu's storyline has been completed, and Season 2 looks like it's gonna focus more on this little love triangle that Amo finds herself in. I think only a term has passed in the show, so if I were to guess, it must be building up to the grade 12s, Kaya, Butle and Sefako, matriculating. This suggests that the show will return for Season 2 sooner than later. Tumelo's father confirmed he wasn't homophobic. Much like we suggested last week, he just didn't want a lazy son. And Tumelo was clearly using his sexuality to avoid doing chores around the farm and helping his father out. But I think the show had some very progressive plot points which will appeal and contribute to a lot of people's emotional intelligence. I love how everybody's home situation was wrapped up. Mahlatsa's mom was the real MVP. She backed up her son even after the expulsion and was in full support of the Big Five's crusade against the principal. Kaya and his father's relationship developed beautifully. I actually thought he was going to let Kaya keep the car at the end there. I think it would have been a good touch, but I love how their relationship played out. When the show first started, a lot of people wrote it off and accused it of over-sexualizing high school kids, but it has proven to have substance and many morals we can take from the story. I can't stress enough just how good the writing was and how exponentially better the show got as the story set in and characters developed. It's a wrap for season 1. All credit goes to the production team and the stellar cast of young actors for giving us a great story so far. It's been a pleasure reviewing this show with you guys. We'll be back next season with more reviews. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is ASR for the love of African filmmaking and storytelling.